it's Mayu. こんにちは、Mayu です。元気ですか？よろしくお願いします。Welcome back to Japanese. This is going to be the first video on chapter 5. We have learned lots of things in chapter 4. That was あります、います verbs in lesson 1. Second one was location words.Third one was past tense, then particle mo as also. Do you remember? If you think you're ready, we can go to the next chapter. And we're going to do counters today. We have lots of counters in Japanese language, as you might know, like this. It might be a bit overwhelming, but the good news is there is no need to put any particle after this counter words. It might be a great news for all those particle fans, I guess. Anyway, I will explain this in the grammar section later. But we're going to focus on counters that telling time and things around you on N5 level. Okay.So let's start with the vocabulary, which includes counters, of course. Okay? First, let me explain the general counters for objects in Japanese. The typical counter for small object is 個。1個、2個、3個、4個、5個、6個、7個、8個or 8個、9個、10個。And it goes on like that.However, we still use some traditional counters today. 1つ、2つ、3つ、4つ、5つ、6つ、7つ、8つ、9つ、等。These traditional counters are only used for numbers from 1 to 10, and in modern usage, 等 is rarely used. Therefore, for counters larger than 9つ, we generally use 個。Then, let's have a look at counters for indicating time. 時間、時間 means hours. 1時間、2時間、3時間。分 or 分 means minutes.1分、2分、3分。日、日 means days。1日、2日、3日。週間、週間 means weeks。1週間、2週間、3週間。ヶ月ヶ月 means months. 1ヶ月、2ヶ月、3ヶ月。年年 means years. 1年、2年、3年。Next is the counter for flat objects. It's used to count things like plates, papers, DVDs, t-shirts, towels, and so on. 枚1枚、2枚、3枚。Let's see examples. 1時間勉強します。I will study for 1 hour. 3時間テニスをしました。I played tennis for 3 hours. 1週間アメリカに行きます。I will go to America for 1 week. 6週間パンを食べませんでした。I haven't eaten bread for 6 weeks. 1ヶ月イギリスで英語を勉強しました。I have studied English in the UK for 1 month. 5ヶ月日本の大学に行きます。I will go to Japanese university for 5 months. See, there are no particles after the counters. I'm sure it sounds really easy for you. Basically, you don't put particle after counter. That's good to know, alright? Then let me explain a little bit more complicated thing. Among these, the counters that change reading are 分 and 日. Since we covered 分 and 分 in a study of numbers, we will skip it here. In this lesson, let's focus on how to count days. The way to count days is mostly the same as the name for dates in the month. So, 1日、2日、3日、4日、5日、6日、7日、8日、9日、10日。And then 11日、12日、13日、14日、15日 and so forth. Do you remember? If you don't think you remember, please go back to Chapter 3, Lesson 3, Time Words. Then I said mostly the same. Only one exception is the reading for one day. When referring the first day of the month, it's 1日. When counting a length of time for one day, it's read as 1日. After that, it's 2日、3日、4日. Same as the names for the dates in the month. Then how can we actually use them? When we see this kanji, we read it as 1日 when it refers to the first day of the month. However, when it indicates a length of time, we read it as 1日. Please have a look at this first sentence. How do you read this? When the sentence means I will study on the first, this kanji represents a specific day, so it is read as 1日. 1日は勉強します means I will study on the first. On the other hand, when the sentence has the meaning I will study for one day or all day, the kanji indicates a length of time, so it is read as 1日. 1日は勉強します means I will study for one day or all day. However, the particle wa can only be used when this time-related counter functions as the subject of the sentence. Otherwise, generally, particles are not used after counters. So, I will study all day is simply expressed as 1日勉強します. When there is no particle after this word, we understand it is a counter for a duration. So it is read as 1日. Of course, when the particle ni follows this word, it indicates a specific day, so we know it should be read as 1日. 1日に勉強します. Alright? Okay, let's see more examples to understand how to use them. The first one, 2日テストがあります. Just because 2日 doesn't have any particle after that, then we know this 2日 is the duration of time. Then, that means I'll have test for 2 days. Then the next one, 2日はテストがあります. This word 2日 has particle wa after. That means this word is the topic of the sentence, right? Then if the 2日 was the date, that means on the second. As for the second, I'll have test. But when the 2日 means for 2 days, duration of time, then as for 2 days, I'll have test. And the last one, 2日にテストがあります. The word has particle ni after, so it's clearly a time word. Then it means on the second, I'll have test. Next example. 10日学校に行きます。10日 doesn't have particle after, so that means it's a counter. Then for 10 days, I'll go to school for 10 days. The next one, 10日は学校に行きます。10日 has particle は that means it's a topic of the sentence. Then if the 10th means on the 10th, then as for the 10th, I'll go to school. But if that was a duration of time for 10 days, then it means as for 10 days, I'll go to school. Then the last one, 10日に学校に行きます。That means on the 10th with particle に. So on the 10th, I'll go to school. Let's see the last one. 24日日本に帰ります。It doesn't have particle, so that means it's a counter word. Then I'll go back to Japan. 24日は日本に帰ります。Then if the 24日 was the 24th, then it means as for the 24th, I'll go back to Japan. But if that was a duration of time for 24 days, then as for 24 days, I'll go back to Japan. And the last one, 24日に日本に帰ります。Clearly it's that on the 24th because it's time word with particle に. On the 24th, I'll go back to Japan. Alright? Okay, let's see more example with general counters. Please repeat after me. ジョンさんはアイスクリームを3つ食べました。すみません。コーヒーを1つお願いします。部屋に時計が2つあります。この町にテニスクラブが6つあります。クラスに椅子が21個あります。この部屋に T シャツが2000枚あります。この人は DVD が1万枚あります。アシャさんは昨日8時間寝ました。お母さんは毎日2時間テレビを見ます。友達は毎年1ヶ月アメリカに行きます。弟は4年東京の大学に行きます。今日カフェでベスさんと30分話しました。昨日私の猫は1日私の部屋にいました。私は来週1週間コーヒーを飲みません。Okay, let's read them again. Please repeat after me out loud. 2日テストがあります。2日はテストがあります。2日にテストがあります。10日学校に行きます。10日は学校に行きます。10日に学校に行きます。24日日本に帰ります。24日は日本に帰ります。24日に日本に帰ります。ジョンさんは アイスクリームを3つ食べました。すみません。コーヒーを1つお願いします。部屋に時計が2つあります。この町にテニスクラブが6つあります。クラスに椅子が21個あります。この部屋に T シャツが2000枚あります。この人は DVD が1万枚あります。アシャさんは昨日8時間寝ました。お母さんは毎日2時間テレビを見ます。友達は毎年1ヶ月アメリカに行きます。弟は4年東京の大学に行きます。今日カフェでベスさんと30分話しました。昨日私の猫は1日私の部屋にいました。私は来週1週間コーヒーを飲みません。That's all for today. It is very important for you to be able to say how many days, how many hours, how many years or something while we're going to learn new grammar and saying more complicated sentences in this new chapter. So please make sure you will remember these words and use Saru-kun video if you like to and enjoy the new sentences to practice with Saru-kun. Okay? Please remember you repeat them out loud. It's very important. Okay, then see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. じゃあまたね。バイバイ。If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up by hitting that like button right below. Your likes really motivate us to create more content. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.